What's up, you guys? America, get in here expeditiously because we need to have a little conversation about the holidays. It's August and the holidays season gonna be here in a couple of minutes, a couple of seconds. The holiday season is gonna soon be approaching. We already in um school season, back to school, and some of y'all stealing for back to school gear. Some of you guys are stealing for back to school gear. It's not that serious. It's never that serious. Let me tell you something better that you could do. Stop purchasing this garbage. I don't care what your income bracket is. If you make 100K. Now, if you one of them families and you have excess, you could just afford Christmas, go ahead, buy your kids the Christmas gifts. I ain't talking to you. I'm talking to the majority of Americans. Hold on, y'all. Hold the fuck up. I'm talking to the majority of Americans who ain't got it. You know exactly who I'm talking to. You ain't got it. You barely have rent money. You complaining about groceries. Yeah, you are who I'm speaking to. So, let's get into the show, you guys. Like, I have a couple of videos to show you. And I'm serious. I want America to boycott Christmas. Like I said, if you have the money for Christmas, I ain't speaking to you. Waste your money. Waste your money. I don't care. But those of you who want to control the narrative, you want to leverage some of your abilities in the country, I think, and that's majority of Americans, boycott Christmas. Stop it. Okay. I have been boycotting Christmas for years. Let me see. I've been boycotting Christmas for about 6 years. 6 years ago, I decided I ain't getting nobody shit for Christmas. That was an executive decision that I made. I don't think it's worth it buying Christmas gifts. I don't think people are grateful. I don't think they appreciate it. I think us Americans, we have too much garbage laying around. What we don't have is power. We need to leverage any spending power that we have. And we need to boycott Christmas. Let me tell you, those of you who got badass kids, you got crying ass kids who think they finna get some toys and stuff. Now, you need to sit down with your children because your children are not fucking stupid. Children are very intelligent. I just saw a video of a little 4-year-old girl that was able to call her mother or call the emergency services for her teacher who was having a medical emergency. This girl was 4 years old, okay? Your children are intelligent, okay? Stop treating your children like they fucking stupid. You don't treat them like they stupid when you want them to do something for you. Okay? Have a conversation with your children and tell them, this year or for the unforeseeable future, there is something more important than buying you new toys and stuff. You have love in your home. You have an education. We are investing in your future. And if anybody bullies you at school for not having the newest and the latest, you tell them you are not a slave to materialism. You tell your children this. I don't care if they're 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 years old. If you have high school kids, if you have middle school kids and they're just fucking brats and they cry and they want toys, don't let these kids fucking guilt trip you. You the grown person. Okay? Don't let these kids guilt trip you. You tell them, do you want freedom or do you want plastic junk? Okay, you buy your kids something when you can afford it. All right, have a special gathering. Watch movies, play games. Okay, do arts and crafts, but whatever you do, don't go spending a lot of money. And if you must buy toys or if you must buy gifts, give everybody in your family $20 and y'all go buy each other something at Dollar Tree or something like that. Give everybody $20 and y'all, pick a name out of the hat and buy each other a little something special. But do not be going into debt this year and spending your grocery money and your rent and your bill money on motherfucking toys. Okay. All right. Now, broke after Christmas. Let me refresh that. These are some of the videos that I saw last year, especially this guy right here. This guy right here, he did a lot of Christmas, overspending videos. I feel like I think Americans, we just need to boycott Christmas altogether. Okay. This woman says, why our kids have a $20,000 spending limit for Christmas. This is absolutely fucking crazy. Yeah. I am just, this is for Halloween. Oh my God. I didn't even think about all the other holidays. Halloween. Damn. Americans, we need to boycott all this shit. Do I need to make a Halloween video? Let me fucking go on a Christmas video.
So I'm gonna go with like $1,500.
$4,400. Our kids' Christmas limits have been raised to $40,000 this year, so let's do a haul together.
Rich kids' Christmas is always so interesting to me because they'll just show their like stocking stuffers and it's already worth like $1,000.
All right, so with Christmas being
Americans, we gotta stop.
Paycheck to paycheck, going into copious amounts of debt, and you could see clip after clip of just lines of traffic trying to shop for the holidays. And at least in my experience, it's been like this for the better part of a month. As soon as it hit Black Friday, and I told you about my own experiences going back up to New Jersey, hanging out with my friends, going to the mall, thinking that it would be dead, and it was the busiest I've ever seen in my life. And it honestly seemed
wow. Traveling.
Going to Cancun. Another big destination is, of course, Disney, and we've already talked about how expensive.
If you cannot afford this as a parent, boycott Christmas. Oh my God, Americans, please, we got to do something, y'all. We got to boycott Christmas.
They're the ugliest shoes ever. And their sandals, they should be $24.99. But they're not.
These are $78.
$78 sandals.
Okay.
And they're plastic garbage.
They want headphones, the Apple AirPods.
Why do they need Apple AirPods? They don't need Apple. I don't have Apple AirPods.
It's on their list.
Apple AirPods. Now they're probably like $100.
$249.
If your kids want fucking stuff that costs $249, tell them no. Y'all need to learn how to tell y'all fucking kids no. You know you cannot afford this shit. Tell them no.
Like e-bike.
No.
It's like an e-bike.
Let me go ahead and just say one thing about e-bikes. They're a waste of money, right? I rode a bicycle. Had pedals, no motor. Okay? We had something called a moped, right? That was the bike that you want, and you want it.
Well, how
e-bike.
much do you think they are? The
E-bikes
Saran e-bike.
Yeah, a Saran e-bike. All right, they're expensive. I know that. So I'm gonna go with like $1,500.
$4,400.
Does anybody want any kids? I will gladly give them to you.
Oh my gosh, $4,000 for an e-bike. Now, I will say that they have much, much, much cheaper e-bikes. You can get an e-bike for under 1K, and that's absurd that you would even consider getting your kid something for close to 1K, but you can get an e-bike for under 1K. But if your kid does not need a fucking e-bike or you cannot afford it, don't get it. I think we need to boycott Christmas. Like, no.
Vespa's like $20. $20.
This one is for the bargain price of $79.95.
It's a basketball. You can buy them at Target. Why $80 for a basketball? They were like $12 when I was a kid.
Inflation.
Now, a lot of y'all are gonna go broke for Christmas, and we need to discuss what's gonna happen if and when you go broke. Okay? Now, we already know rent is fucking sick. Rent is sick. You can't afford to buy a house, number one. Most of you can't. And rent prices. Let's do this by date. Let's see the newest videos about fucking rent. Rising rents and soaring food prices. Well, this is for Black people, but we already know Black people are going to be fucking struggling. But I'm talking about everybody. I'm talking about fucking everybody. I'm not even talking about Black people. This is an everybody problem.
Is tenants are celebrating a lot of these changes that the provincial government had made, but what they're not seeing is these units are being removed from the market, therefore there's less available to be rented, therefore there's more competition for what is available to be rented, therefore the rental prices potentially are going to go up because you've got limited inventory. And the more of that inventory that's removed, the harder and harder it is to find alternate accommodations when you have to. The harder and harder it is to get the best price because there's you and four other people who are competing for the unit, right? So the free market, the way that it would solve that problem is by having more inventory and allowing the inventory and the prices to settle for where it makes sense, right? So what we're seeing out here is tenants are celebrating a lot of these changes that the provincial government had made, but what they're not seeing is these units are being removed from the market, therefore there's less available to be rented, therefore
Now, I think he's talking about I think he is talking about Canada.
The shelter component of inflation has been outpacing other categories consistently. This has led to some serious complications for the Federal Reserve. You see, rent makes up about 1/3 of the consumer price index. When the Fed looks at inflation, they're seeing these high rent numbers and thinking, ooh, we need to tighten monetary policy. But here's the catch. This inflation isn't driven by increased demand or a booming economy. It's driven by a lack of supply. We're not building enough homes, and it's throwing off our entire economic picture. The shelter component of inflation has been outpacing.
So they're saying that they aren't building enough homes. So, that's why they're going up on the rent prices. Let me see if I can find something more recent. If you don't boycott Christmas and you panic over buying materialistic garbage, this is something you should be thinking about right now in August. If you don't boycott Christmas right now, consider it, get ready for it. If you don't consider or get ready to boycott Christmas, right now, you are going to be suffering. There is not shit your kids need for Christmas. Your kids have enough garbage consuming your house. Okay? And if you can't pay your bills, they're going to put that garbage out on the fucking street. Okay? Next. Now, let me see. I don't know which one I want to go to next. Let's look at the Trump tariffs. The Trump tariffs. Now, I don't know much about the Trump tariffs, so let's me and you watch a couple of videos about them. Rebate check for Americans. Let's watch that. That looks interesting. I hope they don't fucking flag my channel for watching this. I hope not.
Questions towards the end of the interview here, but what questions do you have about tariffs or these tariff checks? Once again, scan that QR code in the top right-hand corner of your screen.
Trump tariffs. Senator Josh Hawley introduced legislation to provide a tariff rebate check of at least $600 per adult and child in America. So they want to give you $600. You know that ain't shit. What you gonna pay with $600? Your light bill, your car insurance, your phone bill? That's not shit. That's not gonna pay for Christmas either. I mean, it could. Hey. If you got a $600 check from the government, hey, maybe you could use that for Christmas. But we both know that you have more important things to do with $600. We both know that $600 wouldn't do shit for you, really. Let's read the comments. I don't want a fucking rebate. I want my government to stop taxing the hell out of us. No income tax, no property tax, no unaliving tax, no Social Security. Hell, if you are retired, you should pay no tax other than sales tax. Don't want $600 check. Lower our liabilities instead. They think people are stupid. They think people are damn stupid. They said, okay, we're going to tax the fuck out of you, but hey, here's a $600 check. Most of y'all pay way more in taxes than $600. And with these tariffs, you know, that them grocery bills and everything else going up, you know, that $600, that's nothing. Can we stop paying taxes? Don't you think we've paid enough? Especially the seniors who paid their entire lives. Been paying taxes your whole damn life. And now they're going to force you via tariffs. They're going to force you via tariffs to pay more taxes. They really need an increase in their Social Security checks. Okay? This is the comments. $600 is a joke. How about $6,000 and no income tax? Even if they gave you a $6,000 check, I mean, what would most of you guys do with a $6,000 check? You're in debt. Maybe some of you could fix your car. Maybe you could buy a car. Maybe some of you would pay your rent up for, I don't know, 4 months maybe. The more you make, the more they take. It's not fair for us hard workers who pay for our own housing, our own food, and our own health care with high deductibles. We shouldn't be penalized. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, this person says, stop talking about it and make it happen. There's so many people who can't afford groceries. I'm telling y'all, do y'all see, do these people in these comments look like people who can afford Christmas? And as I've said, you know, I'm not talking to everybody. Some people are going to be able to afford Christmas, but these people in these comments look like they ain't got no money. They said make groceries affordable. The elderly and disabled on fixed income don't get enough to pay taxes. Oh, let me click on this guy's channel because he know what he be talking about.
Over again because President Trump is talking about sending out $600 tariff rebate checks to Americans. These rebate checks, if passed, would provide a minimum of $600 per adult and dependent child, or $2,400 for a family of 4. So in this video, I want to talk about who could potentially qualify for these tariff rebate checks, what this would mean for your investment portfolio, and what does this mean for the economy. That way you can position yourself ahead of potential market movements. Earlier this year, when President Trump and Elon Musk were friends, they were talking about sending a $5,000 Doge dividend check out to Americans. That Doge dividend check clearly didn't happen, but now under this new proposal by Senator Josh Hawley, working Americans could qualify for $600 each, assuming that you meet the income limits. The benefit will be reduced by 5% for joint filers with an adjusted gross income above $150,000, or single filers earning more than $75,000. But there's one key difference between the
Oh, wow. So if you're unemployed, you probably won't even get one if you didn't file taxes. So I hope maybe you got a job. I don't know. A lot of people don't have jobs. So yeah, that's what we're looking at right there with the taxes. The Dow stumbles as Trump's new tariffs.
We finally reached the day after months of an announcement and then a delay, and then an announcement and then a delay, and the market goes up and the market goes down and the market goes up and the market goes down again. We've reached the day where the tariffs are in effect. This is a day that Donald Trump has been thinking about for a long, long time. Let's just flash back a little bit to the time that Donald Trump talked to Oprah Winfrey about this.
I can't promise you everything, but I can tell you one thing. This country would make one hell of a lot of money from those people that for 25 years have taken advantage.
That was the answer he gave when he was asked in 1988, what would you do if you were elected president of the United States? And here we are today. Governor Walker.
I hope they don't fucking flag my live stream, because I really want to see this. Let's read the comments. They're talking about Kevin O'Leary. A lot of people are so fucking stupid. They can't even pay attention to the subject. Oh my God. Using tariffs to tax regular people and use the money to give tax breaks to the billionaires. You almost tricked me, but then I remember re-release the Epstein files. We're not stupid. Tariffs are a tax on the American people. Release the Epstein files ASAP. They ain't playing with your ass. Let's see what MSNBC says.
Hey everyone. So
ready for higher prices? American companies now paying for Trump's tariffs.
100 of the second Trump administration, and Donald Trump's tariff regime is now officially in place. He has been celebrating since late last night. Just before midnight, he posted that billions of dollars, quote, largely from countries that have taken advantage of the United States for many years, will start flowing into the United States. Then just after midnight, he posted billions of dollars in tariffs are now flowing into the United States of America. Well, today, Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick said the country expects to take in $50 billion in tariff revenue each month.
If you guys don't know, a tariff is a tax on goods. You, the American people, are going to pay the taxes. Okay. Straight out of consumers' pockets, no money will flow in. It will flow from the pockets to the government. Yep. Basically, as an Australian, I'm sitting back remembering when the USA actually had some respect. Terrible. I'm going to watch that video later. That's a good one. I'm going to leave that one up. I'm going to watch it later. Now, finally, I guess I got to just take it down. Now, finally, this one shocked me right here. This one, I vaguely heard about it, but did you guys know that Trump signed an executive order to, and apparently George Carlin talked about this 12 years ago.
Effective Air Force? Seems to me like we're a couple of weeks overdue to drop high explosives on helpless civilians. People who have no argument with us whatsoever. I think we ought to be out there doing what we do best, gang, making big holes in other people's countries. I hate to be repetitious, but God, we are a warlike lot, We can't stand not to be fucking with somebody. We couldn't wait for that Cold War to be over, could we? Just couldn't wait for that Cold War to be over so we could go and play with our toys in the sand. And when we're not invading some sovereign nation or setting it on fire from the air, which is more fun, then we're usually declaring war on something here at home. Do you ever notice that? We love to do that, don't we? We love to declare war on things here in America. Anything we don't like about ourselves, we have to declare war on it. Don't do anything about it. We just declare war on it.
Now, I watched this woman's video earlier, and I'm going to play a little bit of her video, and wow, y'all. Of course, she is well educated on the topic because she lives in her car, and this is going to be affecting her.
For brutal honesty, I'm scared. The war on homelessness has begun, and
if you know you ain't got shit and you worried about Christmas and you thinking about wasting your money on some Christmas bullshit to give to companies that already got way too much shit, and this stuff you're gonna have a chance to buy your kids some stuff, but not right now. Okay. The possibility of being homeless is big for a lot of people. It's big, especially if you have a lot of responsibilities. Now, I don't know what kind of government assistance parents get, but if you even qualify for government assistance, then that right there lets me know that you don't have a lot of money. All right. And I'm pretty sure that there are homeless families out there,
Bad. And the war against people who don't make enough money is terrifying. I live in my car. I don't want to live in my car. I have a lot of circumstances that have forced me to be in this situation, and I'm trying very hard to get out of it. But right now, many of you may have already heard that an executive order has been signed by the Trump administration and by the President of the United States to begin forcibly incarcerating homeless people who live in tents, on a sidewalk, in a car, a van, or an RV. These are explicitly and expressly written in the executive order that can be found on the .gov websites. For those
when she said that was the craziest thing I have ever heard. Let me see if I can rewind that.
Who live in tents to begin executive order, and I'm trying very hard to get out of it. But right now, many of you may have already heard that An executive order has been signed by the Trump administration and by the President of the United States to begin forcibly incarcerating homeless people who live in tents, on a sidewalk, in a car, a van, or an RV. These are explicitly and expressly written in the executive order that can be found on the .gov websites.
Now, she goes on to say how, of course, what she just said, they want to incarcerate people, homeless people who live in their car, tents, whatever else. And she thinks that they are going to forcibly put them in something maybe like a concentration camp and force them into something like a rehab or, I don't know. If people, if they're depending on their health, maybe they're just going to let them succumb to their disabilities. Who knows? But one thing I do know, you need to learn how to leverage your control. And I think Americans should boycott Christmas. And that's it. That's all I got.